Good, shot. So you know.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I'll
Hello.
follow you.
Hello. Thank you, darling. Hello. Hello. As you can see today, I have a special guest. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that this is my Snookums. I will formally introduce him in a second, but I want to start off this video as I do every single one by setting my intention and then introducing myself, and then we will jump into the topic. So the first thing I always do is take a deep breath. I close my eyes and then I introduce myself, okay?
Okay.
All right. Hi, my name is Sherilyn Dorsey, and I am creator and founder of You're More Than Their Mother. Today is a little bit different. We are sitting outside of our home, and as I mentioned to you earlier, I have my special guest, really the one who made me a mother, and that is my husband, Gerald. Gerald, say hi to me.
Hello, all.
Alrighty. So today I want to talk about mindset. And me and my husband were having some amazing conversation per usual, and that's really what brought the topic to my mind. And I just thought it really important to discuss with my audience of moms, mainly women, usually who chime in. And I want to talk about the importance of mindset. The world we live in today, in my opinion, it focuses a lot on money, right? Are you getting your money? Are you getting what it is that you need in order to thrive, in order to live? And we kind of look at that usually as or very often, let me say it like that. We very often look at that as a one track thing, right? A one track thing, whereas I believe that our happiness, that our wholeness, it is a series of things that makes up what it is that we need in order to thrive, in order to be happy. And all of that begins with your mindset. What it is that you think, what it is that you lend your attention to, what it is that you choose to retract from, what it is that you choose to lean into more. It all starts out with your mindset, and that informs your happiness. That also informs how much money you'll make. That informs your mate that you'll attract, etc., etc. So, I really want to start out like this and really get your opinion on it, sweetheart, about how do you think mindset impacts personal um, happiness or wellness, better stated?
How does it impact personal wellness?
Yeah, wellness or happiness, you know
Wellness,
how it
happiness?
goes. Mm-hmm.
Well, I can say this. Um, the mindset, your thoughts is where everything begins. So, because that's the point of reference, everything that is done from that point, it will yield a specific outcome. So, if your mindset is such that happiness is what you desire, then that desire is the thing itself that will bring the happiness to you. So, if your desire is happiness, when I say that your want is happiness, I'll use those two different words. If your want is happiness, and it's just a want, if you are not willing to put forth the effort into generating the thoughts of happiness, meaning if you are caught up in whatever you see around you, and what you see around you is despair or fighting or or unloving engagements, then that's what you will receive. But transcending those physical slash what some would call reality, if that's what you're focusing on, that's the reality that you're creating. What I know to be true is that reality is a culmination of previous thoughts. So really what we're experiencing right now is a product of what we thought yesterday. So if I want to experience something tomorrow, then I have to reprogram my mind to think of that thing that I want to experience tomorrow. Thereby, again, that desire coupled with the action of really clarifying what you want mentally will bring about the desired outcome slash result. Right?
That's-
So mindset is all there is. When you look at it from that perspective, nothing else even matters or exists. It's almost like you have to create your own world within a world, because I think that the inner world that we create, we build and move our life to where we want it to be, and that becomes an outcome. And then that outcome, if people have this similar mindset, then that will be called a collective outcome. So I think that happiness slash wealth starts wellness, wellness. You said wellness. I was thinking about wellness,
No.
a component of wellness.
Yeah,
which
yeah, it is. It's for sure.
But it all starts with how you think.
Yeah.
It all starts with how you think.
And you said, and I know you all hear the background noise, like I said, we are outside, as you see, a beautiful night, and I thought it would be pretty nice to take these beautiful thoughts it is that we have in this kind of conversation and just bring it out in the open like this, and quite literally out in the open. So that's what you hear nature and all that in the background. But you said some things that to me are worth diving a little bit deeper into. One thing that you said is, although you can, and of course this is paraphrased, but what I heard you say was essentially that it doesn't matter what's around you and what you see in front of you in what is considered reality. You have to find a way to think a new thing,
Right.
if that is what you want, something new, right?
Right.
And I think personally that, first of all, I couldn't agree more, but I think so often that's where people get stuck. Because they say, and I'm a big fan of Abraham Hicks, or Esther Hicks. She goes by the name of Abraham, and that's somebody you can look up on YouTube yourself. But she says all the time that we look at things and say, if we say, hey, you have to change your mindset, although these things are in front of you, this is reality. We're looking and saying, but it's true, what am I supposed to do? Kind of stick my head in the sand with this. And what she says that I agree with, and what I hear you saying is pretty much you have to turn away from what it is that you see in front of you if it's not what it is that you want. Trust what it is that you are conjuring on the inside of you, as the desire it is that you want to see, right? Or call forth or create, whatever it is that looks like for you. And you really have to focus on what it is that will yield that. Um, how do they do that? How do you train yourself to ignore what's in front of you if it's not in alignment with what it is that you want?
So for me, logically, it makes sense that training your brain to think about what you want as opposed to thinking about what is. It's sort of logical for me to think, to know that my happiness cannot be dependent on external circumstances. Because if that's the case, then I'm depending on someone else to provide me with happiness.
And I have to pause you there. That's so true. And that's another way of saying you're giving your power away. Wouldn't you say that?
For sure.
Right? To something outside of you. And it's so funny because I get where people say, oh, well, if I'm broke or if I have lost someone in my life that I wanted to be there and they didn't choose to be with me anymore, and it makes me sad, and all of those realities and complexities that we go through in real life, that really happens. But if you want to feel a different way, it is incumbent upon you, and it is the only way that you can feel better, is if you make a new decision to think about, to train your mind, to focus on things it is that you want. And because everything is created twice, right? First in the mind, then in reality. When you understand that power about yourself, then you start to focus in, seek out ways to retrain and recondition yourself on how it is to think. Right? And you said,
Look at this little bunny that's came and sat
oh,
between us.
this,
All
I mean,
right.
all of nature is
All
really
the nature's coming
right.
to us. We're in alignment.
We're in alignment.
We're here. All right.
Right. You're scared. I've never seen that. Wow. Oh, wow. And there was no reason to be scared, right? There's no reason. Yeah, but wouldn't you say, right?
Yes, and one thing, it's it sounds easy. Change your mind. That's the easy thing to do. But really, the work is just creating another thought.
Yes.
So I think about the number of times I've had thoughts of despair when I'm thinking from a place of fear. The fear's not even real. It hasn't even happened yet. I'm thinking about what may happen tomorrow. So I'm thinking about the negative outcome. How much more thought, energy would it take to give myself the point of reference of a positive outcome? Why do we do that? Because we've been conditioned to do that.
Yep. Very true. Very
Conditioned to
true.
think the worst. Conditioned to think that reality, you got to face reality. You're not facing reality, but I'm here to say that I do what I want.
That's our favorite
Whatever I
line.
think is what I can have. And it's not an overnight thing. It's like you got to work. It's like building a muscle.
Yeah.
The muscle doesn't come from you doing it once. It's repetitive. Bodybuilding is consistent. We build muscle. So the brain is a muscle,
Yes.
even bigger muscle than the body is. So the brain is a muscle that should be trained. So for me, I'm really focused on building my mental muscle, expanding it because it really has unlimited potential. And that's really an understanding, is understanding how powerful the mind is.
Yeah. And so he just said something to me that leads right into the second part of this when he said it's an unlimited, did you say muscle? It's on potential. I'm sorry. It's unlimited potential. So to me, when you think about unlimited potential, I think about that in all ways because potential means the possibility, right, of something. So it's possible that you can make as much money as you want to, right?
It's possible to have as much love as you want to have.
To have as much what?
Love as you want to have.
Absolutely.
What did we say?
Absolutely.
How much love can we experience? That's a question we asked ourselves.
Yeah.
How much love can we experience? And that, in and of itself, opens up the door to unlimited experiences.
That's right.
If we thought that marriage is tough, it's hard, I don't know anybody who has that. Who cares?
That's right.
Who cares?
That's right.
Your mind is your own.
That's right.
Does someone else occupy your mental space? No.
That's right.
Your consciousness is your own. So since it's my own, I'm choosing what to look at. I'm choosing how to approach life.
That's right.
And it's
It is.
small steps.
Yes.
It's like just saying, I want to be happy. Okay?
That's a step
That's a step.
to literally start with
I am
saying
happy.
out loud, I want to be happy. Right then, a shift occurs, right?
Yep.
But we have to have the courage, right, to make the decision of whatever shift it is that occurred in us, right? Because, and when I say that, meaning, if I say I want to be happy, that may mean something as simple as, I'm going to turn off this TV right now, right? You may get a feeling that says, and sometimes when it happens and we say things like, I don't know where it came from, or something told me, right? Something told me, and it provoked or it prompted you to make a different decision than you're in that moment. And sometimes those things are easy. Sometimes those things feel natural, and sometimes it feels kind of almost out of the ordinary, which it will be because you're creating a new ordinary for you. But if you have the courage to do whatever that next best thing is, then the next best thing after that will be revealed to you. I oftentimes tell people that you can't course correct unless you're on the course. So you have to be out there on the course making these changes. But what you were talking about, you said it starts out with small steps, right? And those things, go ahead, I want you to finish your thought.
Yeah, those small steps. And then when you accomplish that small task, it gives you confidence to do more.
Yes.
Again, this is about consistency.
That's right.
This is about dedication. It's about discipline. Controlling the mind is a discipline. Just think about um, how we react to things that we see outside of us. When someone, I've heard this said many times, if someone can get you upset, then they have control over your emotions.
For sure.
So
For sure.
that right there is a big deal. That's a challenge to control our emotions. But how do you do that? You
Yeah.
start by controlling your mind. I'm going to think this and not think that. Then when you have that perspective, then you just start thinking more. I had an experience today where I've been really very focused on changing my mindset, expanding my ability to think and control my thoughts. And today a fleeting thought came, and immediately I recognized it. And I said, we don't think like that anymore. This is the new thought. But I recognized that I was aware. That's my consciousness in action. Because we say we want more, that thing itself, it's like the um, power or components of a seed transforming into an oak tree. The seed itself has everything in it to grow into an oak tree. So the thought that I want more has everything in it to grow that more that you want.
That's right.
So that's the amazing thing about it. Is I'm just still mind blown when I think about the possibility, because I thought that I had reached a certain level. I'm like, I'm good. I'm straight. I'm good. And then here comes life. There's more to
Good
do.
with what?
There's more to do, because that thing that I want
Yes.
is pulling me forward.
Yeah.
That's the consciousness that exists within us that knows what to do.
And you brought up a good point in talking about I reached a certain point in my life and said, oh, okay, I've got it now, right? And if you keep that mindset, right, and you become rigid around the thought that I've got it now, right, and I can do, I don't have to work on this whole mindset thing, then that's when you become stuck, right? And that's when you get into this place where uh, you don't grow, you stunt your own growth, right? You become, I'm sorry, I'm just literally, my brain is looking out beyond this, and I'm just starting to lose my thought behind looking at my scenery. Anyway, but when you get to the point where you think that you don't have to really learn anymore, or that a certain mindset, or that you have it in perpetuity, right? That is not only is that not true, it becomes counterproductive, and then you start to regress in life, right? Because as human beings, we're always evolving, we're always coming into something new, and you can never not want. You can never not want, because every time you get to a certain point in your life, as you grow, you have a different vantage point. So now you have different options. And when you learn that I can do something different, oftentimes you want something different, because now you have new information, a new set of intelligence, right? So it's really important to remain nimble in your mindset, understanding that there are, this is a journey, right? Not a destination. In other words, that's kind of where that um, term comes from, if you will. Right? Let me say that.
That's right. I like to take sort of stock of where I am. I'm doing it on a daily basis now. So when you think about growth, transformation, and you think about, say for instance, going back to happiness, how do I feel today? How do I feel today? And if my feelings are still the same as yesterday, then I haven't really made much progress. So be intentional about making progress. Today I'm going to feel this. And then for me, my experience has been, when I set my intention on something like that, then sure enough, the next day or in the very near future, that old thing is gone. The old way of thinking is gone, because I've set my intention, I've done the work to actually transform that thought into something else.
way you
You
going.
gotta believe.
Yes,
No,
for
this is
real.
real.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
I'm
believe.
being
That's
silly,
what
but
it.
yeah,
You gotta believe. Belief is everything.
yeah.
Belief in
It's the
yourself
caveat
is
to everything.
everything.
Yes, it is.
Everything.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It
and
is.
it's pretty amazing when you think about
It is. And if oftentimes, oh,
it. There he
there's
is
the little bunny.
again.
I'm telling
It's our
y'all,
friend.
it's our friend. It's our friend. I'm telling you, all this nature is just beautiful. But anyway, I really think about. Oftentimes, I talk about how I was brought up, right? And I'm sure that we all have uh, a feeling about how it is that we were brought up, right? Either we liked it, we didn't, we know some things we would have changed, we know some things we should say we would have wanted more of, et cetera, right? And I oftentimes talk about my upbringing, and I always say, man, I loved it. It was, for me, perfect for me, and I think it was, um, I would do it all over again. I had a blast in my childhood, in short. But one thing I've realized about that is that the way that we were raised was not meant to carry us through the rest of our life. Did you say that? It was meant to get us to a point where we could function and think on our own, of our own agency, right? And then build upon what it is that we learned in our childhood to create the reality it is that we want. The reason I thought that important to say, number one, of course, that's about mindset, and that's my mindset. And what that does for me is it empowers me and helps me to remember that I am my own. That while my parents did what I consider to be an amazing job and the best that they could, now it's my turn. If there's something there that I don't like, be it a pattern in me, say I picked it up from childhood, right? Be it something that I didn't like that's a result of my childhood, let's just say the way that I started out, be it financially or socially or even health wise, physically. Um, I am now my own. And I get to now make a new decision. So it's up to me to educate myself, to heal myself, and to create the new reality it is that I want. But I have to first understand that up here and not look to blame anybody or anything out there. That's why we use language and we're very intentional about the words it is that we say, because we want to make sure that we're maintaining and understanding that we have the power for it all, right? That we are the source, right? That we are the change that we want to see. You all, the bunny rabbit literally keeps coming right up here. I mean, he is right here in our garden in the front. So anyway, that we are the power. So that's what I want to offer to you as one of the huge takeaways here. As we're talking about mindset and understanding that one consideration that we put out there for you is to start to turn away from what you consider reality if it's not in alignment with what it is that you want. Right? Would you say that's the clear, succinct way of saying that?
Absolutely.
Right? Number two, reclaiming your power. Understanding and not giving your power away to anybody or anything, be it a circumstance or person, to dictate your emotions. Happy, sad, mad, glad. Is that well stated? Right? And then number three, exercising agency, right? Agency, mean your agency that you have. As an adult, you have the right, the ability, um, the option to think whatever it is that you want. So, in other words, you can establish a new mindset, and that is yours to do. It doesn't make the people from your past, be it your parents or whoever raised you or didn't raise you, it doesn't let them quote unquote off the hook, right? But we're talking about standing in your power. And the question is always, what is mine to do in order to either establish or maintain or execute on my power? Is that good?
We're
Which,
responsible for our own selves.
how
We're
responsible?
responsible for our own mind.
That
We're
makes
responsible for our
100%.
own body. I live in this body.
Yes.
Therefore, my parents are not responsible for this. They're responsibility ended when they gave me life.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. But now I'm
Now
here.
that's something.
Now I'm here.
Yeah.
This is all mine.
Yeah.
So I have to reconcile anything in the past that I was given.
Yeah.
But from this moment, literally, I have to realize that the power is in my hands. What I create is my own.
Jack Canfield says, I am 100, he co-opted this from someone else, but I heard Jack Canfield say, you are 100% your responsibility. Right?
That's it.
That's 100% it.
That's it.
Now, listen, I am going to absolutely have to make a part two because I made a promise that these would be no more than 22 minutes long, and I think I'm looking at about 25 minutes here. What you say?
All right, I see you got good eyesight, honey. See, I'm gonna be like, where's
Where do you see that? Yeah. So I'm just a little bit over, but while I have him here, we will continue out this conversation. And really, I wanted to make another point into what it is that he said about being our parents' responsibility, because that's something else that is always a lot of conversation around what our parents, quote unquote, owe us, if you will. And I would love to talk about that while I have my husband here, because who knows how many times or how often he'll come and give me a guest appearance.
That's right.
He used to say all the time, you were, what did you say you were?
Batman. You don't see me.
It's another video. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. Please do leave your feedback in the comments. Let me know your thoughts about this around mindset. Let me know what you got out of this, and let me know what questions it is that you have. We are signing off for right now on this topic, but tune in for the next video. Thank you so much for joining, and remember, it's time to move beyond everyone else's expectations of who you ought to be and become